Good evening waheshimiwa na waziri wangu hapo na health fraternity. Hamjambo. I will wish us to begin our session, though late. We apologize because honorable members were having some engagements in other departments. So let's commit our sitting into prayer. Almighty God, who in your wisdom and goodness have appointed the offices of leaders and the county assembly for the welfare of society and the just government of the people, we beseech you to behold with your abundant favor as your servants whom you have been pleased to call to the performance of important trust in this republic. Let your blessings descend upon us here assembled, and grant that we treat and consider all matters that shall come under our deliberation in so just and faithful a manner as to promote your honor and glory, and to advance the peace, prosperity, and welfare of our country and of those interests who have committed to our charge. Amen. Well, I think we should introduce ourselves so that we know whom we are dealing with. So, my name is Duncan Wangama Mokufu, MCA Busik Shambawat, Chairman Health.
Amjambo. Kwa majina anaitwa Mohamed Omar Dudu, naibu mwenyekiti kwa kamati ya afya.
Good afternoon all. My name is Rose Shingira, Vice Chair of Budget and a member of this committee.
Good afternoon. My name is Molim Lawrence Monjala Mzuga, MC Mbololo, and a member of this committee. And I want to sincerely say that we are sorry for having this session this late. Very sorry.
Good afternoon. My name is Anton Kinyili, MCA Chalawad, Vice Chair Water and a member of this committee. Thank you.
Bro. Mike. Beru. Mike.
Thank you, Chair. My name is Gifton Mukaya, the County Executive Committee member in charge of health services, and I'm accompanied by a team of my staff from the department, Chief Officer, County Director of Health, and also some few members, the senior members of the CHMT, and also one medical superintendent. So I'll allow them to introduce themselves because they're adults now. They have energy and also breath. Karibuni.
Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon. I'm Violet Mkamburi, the Chief Officer Health.
Through the chair, good afternoon. Elvis Mondaviro, Director Health.
Good afternoon. I'm Christine Wakesho, County Nurse.
Good afternoon. My name is Dr. Masaru, CHMT member.
Good afternoon. My name is John Mangeka, County Public Health Officer, at the same time County Project Officer.
Honorable members, my name is Jeremiah Shem, I superintend Moi Hospital.
Thank you. And I know we can now begin with the agenda of the day. And we are here because of some issues which we really wanted to have some clarity in them. And there was a statement which was sought by Honorable Daniel Kimuyu in regard to health services in the county. And it was dated on 26th July 2023. In this statement, there were some issues which the committee wanted to know, because in the response which you gave, you talked of the ultrasound which was stolen in Moi. And we are here to know where did the stolen machine go? And number two, we'll also wish to know the cost of the machine. We are also interested to know the serial number of the machine. We understand that in the report it was captured that there was no handing over which was done. So our question is, which officer or who was in charge in the handing over report and the recipient on the same? In your report, you also say that the matter, you reported the matter to the DCI. I will also wish to inquire from you on how far or how what's the progress from the report of the DCI in recovery of the machine. So I think I'll call the Waziri to respond on the same.
Thank you, Honorable Chair. You began by asking the cost of the machine, and as I said in the previous report, that was requested for on 26th of July 2023. This machine, first of all, let's put it into perspective where the machine was domiciled and how it came into the hospital. The machine used to sit in the maternity of Moi County Referral Hospital, and this machine was a donation. And when this machine came, it was received in the hospital, but apparently those who were there never took it in charge and put it in the hospital asset inventory. So as we speak, there are no records whatsoever concerning this machine. It was a donation received but not recorded in the hospital inventory. I hear the machine came in the year 2021 and no records are there to show whether and how it was received, but reports we have indicates that it was a donation. Then now, being a donation, you've asked for the cost. It's not possible to ascertain unless now we go by the general prices of these machines in the market. Then you've asked about the serial number. As I've said, this machine, as a procedure of government, was never taken on charge in the prescribed manner. So no records are there to show what the serial number of the machine was. Then issues to do with handing over and taking over. In my report, I think I indicated, because now I was referring to my handing over and taking over from my predecessor. In the report, which I still have, my predecessor never indicated any loss of such a machine in Moi Hospital. So when I was taking over, it was like now everything was in order. Only now, just recently, that's in the month of July, got reports that there was a machine which got lost. And even the time when this machine got lost is not very clear. The reports I'm getting is the machine kind of was being stolen in parts, in bits. Ile Waswahili anasema kunyafuliwa. One part goes, another one, until by the time it was being discovered that the parts of those machines are missing, it was a bit late. Why did it take this long to be discovered? It's because that machine was not in use. It was not put in use. So the machine was lying idle and it was covered. So whatever was happening, nobody knew what was happening until one time it was discovered. A few days now after the last general election, it was when it was discovered that the machine was missing. Then the other thing is about the DCI matter. Yes, when you report, you don't go back to the police station and start coercing them. So I can let me admit that if not followed the progress, maybe after this is when now we'll try our level best to see whether they've done any investigations, and if they've done so, then what could be the position pertaining to the loss of this important medical equipment. Maybe my chair, maybe with your permission, could I maybe allow, ask if my team have maybe any information that I might have left out. Team, maybe anybody with maybe some additional information so that the committee can get the full position of the disappearance of this important medical equipment. Anything to add? Any additional? It's okay. Yeah, Chair, they are saying it's okay.
Well, I wanted to ask, the machine was a donation from which organization, or yeah?
Chair, I'm told the machine was from Red Cross.
Through the chair. Bwana Waziri, if I've listened well, this matter has not been taken seriously, because if you tell us that the machine was donated, number one, and we can't get the price of the machine, and you talk about general price, and I don't know which price is that one, general price, and you go ahead and say that the machine was kept somewhere, it was covered, it was never in use, and parts have been disappearing one by one until it was discovered that the machine was there. I meant to understand that there must be somebody responsible for this, Bwana Waziri, because there's no way, even if the machine was not handed over properly, there's no way somebody can come with a machine and place it in a shelf and disappear from there. Can we know the exact person who had the machine, who was handed over the machine, so that we can know how the parts were disappearing and how did we discover they were disappearing, and after they disappeared, you discovered the machine has disappeared and we can't even ascertain where it went. And then to make the matters worse, you're telling us you reported to DCI but you never bothered even follow it up of what the case is all about. We need to know this, we need to get the bottom of this matter, Bwana Waziri, kwamba let us get tangible evidence of what you are saying. Tangible truth. What you have just given us is just vague and it's neither here nor there. But it seems the machine came there by itself and disappeared by itself. I think we should put the officers in charge into task. Tafadhali Waziri.
Mheshimiwa Mwenyekiti, nina swali la kufuatilizia katika masuala hayo Mheshimiwa Mzuga ameangazia. Mheshimiwa Waziri, umetueleza, lakini ni masikitiko makubwa. Nyote mliokaa hapa ni watu wenye taaluma na ya tajriba kubwa zaidi katika idara ya afya. Lakini masikitiko yangu makubwa ni kuwa mnatuambia mashini ile ilivyoletwa na muhisani imeshindikana kuwekwa katika mahesabu ya sipitali ama inventory za sipitali. Na hapa nikiangalia kuna watu wamekwepo katika serikali ya kwanza, serikali ya awamu ya pili na bado wako katika serikali ya awamu ya tatu. Ninataka nielezwe ni kwa nini haikuweza kuingia katika orodha ya mahesabu ya vitu va sipitali ya umma. La kuongezea, Mheshimiwa Mwenyekiti, ninataka waziri atueleze kati ya hii timu iliyokuja hapa ni wangapi waliweko katika kipindi hicho cha mashini iliyokuwa imeletwa na muhisani katika hospitali ya rufaa ya Moi. Katika hii timu wamekuja nao ni wangapi walikuwepo kipindi hicho, ili waweze kutueleza kinaga ubwaga. Imedhihirisha wazi ni kuwa hawana uchungu na chochote kinachotolewa cha kumsaidia mtaita na mtaveta katika huduma za afya. La tatu, waziri, nataka unieleze ni kwa nini hukuweza kufuatilia kesi ambayo iliwekwa katika polisi kwa kupotea kwa mashini katika hospitali yetu ya rufaa. Ni masikitiko makubwa ukiniambia we kama waziri huwezi fuatilia kesi hiyo. Inamaanisha wazi haufai tena kuwa kwa hiyo ofisi basi. Kama huwezi fuatilia hiyo kesi, kama we huwezi fuatilia, ulikuwa unatarajia nani afuatilie? Ama utuambie ni nani ambaye ulimtask hiyo kazi afuatilie hiyo kesi. Asante Mwenyekiti.
Response.
Thank you, Honorable Chair, and thank you, honorable members, for your very valid sentiments. I'll start by responding to what Honorable Mzuga has said. Yes, I think Honorable Mzuga has given recommendations and actions that as a department we ought to take, and report. So I'd request Chair, you give us time so that we may know the exact team that time. You know, time has gone, 2021, some of us are not around, so let's go back to our records so that we can know the people, the exact people who are working maybe in that department, maternity department, and yes, insisted that we give tangible information. Tangible information, say for example, if we are to narrow down to the people who work in that department, then we need to come up maybe with a duty rosters for that period, so that now we can table them and give them to this house, to this committee. So we request for time that we get now those facts so that we don't look like us. We are just beating the air. We are just struggling now on this matter. Then he has also, just like maybe I'll tie it up with what Mheshimiwa Omar has said, Omar or Mohammed has said that follow-up is important. Yes, I agree fully with the two members that we need to do proper follow-up with the investigating agencies so that we get to know how, because to us it's a complicated matter, and I would admit that we don't have the capacity to unravel this matter until or unless we involve the investigative agencies. I would admit, Honorable Chair, that us as a department, we have no capacity. So we need now to involve fully the investigative agencies so that we get to the bottom of this matter, especially given that now time has really gone, something that started in 2021 until today, and a majority of us were not in this department, so we need to really get into now involving other investigative agencies for us to be able now to bring this matter to conclusion. Mheshimiwa Mohammed has asked about the inventory, Mr. Chair. Yes, I'm also lost for words how an equipment could be received in the hospital, because none of us here were in that hospital administration. How a machine would come, even if it was a donation, and yet it wasn't recorded in the hospital inventory. The ideally practice, any equipment being added to any government unit has to be put in the assets register or in the inventory. This one, I think it baffles us, all of us. So I'm lost for words. I can't explain any further. So I think this will be part maybe of the investigations that maybe we need to request the investigative agencies to investigate. Was it by design that this machine was never taken on charge as per the government procedures? Members of the hospital who are there, okay, I have some members, but they were not in the hospital administration by then. Madam CCO, I don't know, were you in CHMT or you were in the hospital? Yes, she was in the hospital, but far away from hospital administration. So she wouldn't know what was happening up there. Dr. Mosaru in the hospital, but in the theater, not in the hospital administration. So these are the two members who are in Moi County Referral Hospital at that time when this machine was donated. And I doubt if it would have been a position now to know what was happening then, because there was a hospital administration that time which was being headed by Dr. Felix Kimotho as the medical superintendent. The nurse manager was Madam Chuya. Who was that? Oh, Dena, Madam Holiness Dena. And then the hospital administrative officer then was Mr. Madeda. Now the three pillars of that hospital are no longer with us, or they are no longer in those positions. So within this team, honorable members, I don't think there are members who are part of the hospital administration who could maybe shed more light. So maybe it will be, as if right put it, members, I think we have some homework to carry home to go and finalize on this matter. If given us the way forward, I think we'll go by that way forward. Thank you, Chair.
Mheshimiwa Mwenyekiti, Waziri, labda unaweza nifafanulia Mr. Kimotho, Madam Dena na Madeda are still there in the hospital working in the department? Hata kama wamekuwa transferred, are still there?
Okay, thank you, Mheshimiwa. Through the chair, Dr. Kimotho is no longer in the hospital. Right now he is in TAVETA as the sub-county pharmacist. Madam Dena is no longer in the hospital. She is working in Mwatate sub-county hospital as a nurse. Then Madeda, I don't know whether he's still in the county government because he was transferred to another department, and I think his contract has expired. So I think I've answered your question, Mheshimiwa.
Mheshimiwa Mwenyekiti, nilikuwa naomba Mr. Kimotho na Madam Dena kwa mkutano wetu ambao utauitisha wakati analeta ripoti waweze kuwepo, waweze kutujibu, sababu wao ndio walikuwa katika mamlaka wakati hiyo mashine ikiletwa. Sababu nimeona kuna ukosefu wa ufuatiliaji mpaka tungoje idara ya ufuatiliaji ichukue hatua. Ni jukumu letu tupatiwe OB number na hao ambao walikuwa husika wakati huo, kama ili bunge kupitia na uwezo ambao tumepewa na katiba ya Kenya, tuna uwezo wa kuwaita na kufuatilia.
Through the chair. I think we cannot belabor this point any longer, but it's very unfortunate that Bado Waziri is not giving us any tangible answer of what happened. What he's trying to tell us is that we need to give him more time. I'm wondering, because I know these statements were sought a long time ago, and when he was coming here, he was prepared to come and answer these questions. I really wished he had done enough investigation, but we also need to know the price of that machine, whether general price or exact price, and the serial number, whether general or the real serial number. Otherwise, Bwana Waziri, it should not look like we are witch hunting anybody in this whole affair, but it's proper we get to know where this machine went, who went with it, and how did it go, so that at least the right officer can be in charge. Kwa sababu tunasema kwamba imepotea hivyo, tumemalizia hapo, tumefunga chapter, mambo yanaishia hapo. So what I'm requesting from the chair is that maybe next time when you are going to meet the Waziri, you should have enough information for the same, or the chair can direct. Thank you.
Madam Rose.
Thank you, Chair. Through the Chair, maybe Waziri, what you can do, we need a written document about the machine, how it got lost, where you have reached, and what is the way forward. Maybe you can get a document on that. That will be proper.
Bwana Waziri, I think you should also seek some information from the donor so that we know the cost of the machine, because I understand it's something which was bought following the procurement rules. I think that's the way to go. You should try and come up with an information on how, when, and yes, because I think it was not just brought from there. There was a source of the machine. So I will kindly request you to inquire that information. Number two, we'll also wish to be furnished with a copy of the letter written to the DCI officers reporting the matter. so that we see the way forward in it. And perhaps, Waziri, I would wish to know what time frame will you wish us to give your office so that we come and work this issue once and for all, because time is moving, and I think the agenda was set right in regard to the answers which we requested you through the agenda, which was actually given to you. So we should do something. Waziri, by the time you give, the time will give us, we should also be meeting the officers who have been mentioned in that case. So I think through your office, you should do something, or rather you should do a letter to them to appear before this house and clarify on the issues, because we won't allow engaging with you people whom are not even in that administration. So we know they have the information, and we are determined to the cause. And I know this will set a precedence that TAITA TAVETA residents need to be respected, need to be, or rather will require good services. Now, those cannot be just done aimlessly at the expense of few individuals who will wake up in the morning and try to scheme on or rather compromising services. So with that, Waziri, take note. We'll wish the members mentioned to appear before this house. And I think we are in recess. And I think 7 days will be sufficient, because I understand this is a matter of urgency, and we need to sort it out. Lucky enough, we have got the same officers are maybe deployed in other departments. So we can't say that we can say that we have got a reason as to why we should not even engage them as soonest as possible. So I think 7 days will be sufficient.
Maybe Chair, maybe with the permission, we were requesting for 14 days. For 14 days, because you can see some of these matters are outside our purview. Because if everything was within my department, then 7 days will be more than enough. But matters outside our department, then we need to consult here and there, and it might take more, might take more than 7 days. So it's our humble request that you give us 2 weeks.
Noted, Waziri.
Thank you.
Honorable Kinyili, take us through the second question.
Asante Bwana Chair. Swali langu pia linaenda kwa waziri. Kuna tetezi kwamba kumekuwa na unyakuzi wa shamba la Moi County Referral Hospital. Hii kamati ingependa kujua ni kweli ama si kweli, na kama ni kweli, ni hatua gani mmeweza kuchukua kufikia sasa?
Chair, through the chair, thank you, Honorable Kinyili. Yeah, matters to do with the land grabbing in Moi County Hospital has not started today. Moi County Hospital land has been grabbed even before devolution. Initially, the way that land was set, yeah, when the hospital began, that land was divided into 3 portions. There was a portion which was meant for medical staff housing. There was a portion which was set for the hospital land where now the hospital buildings were to be. Then 3, there was a hospital staff housing kind of program just to be there. And now, as we speak right now, if you look at the lower part of the hospital and where we have the staff houses, chini yake, where we have PCA, secondary, I mean, is it a school and a church. Records which I received from our sister Department of Lands show that that was supposed to be part of the hospital land. It was grabbed. If you look at the portion where the hospital buildings sit, the upper part was also grabbed by residents. Then the third part where right now the KMTC, Voi KMTC, is supposed also part of the hospital land, and part of it has also been grabbed. And if you've been to Moi County Referral Hospital, you'd see there are some staff houses which are up there. Then in between, we have some residents, then now the hospital, which clearly shows that this resident between the upper staff house and the hospital, this resident in between here, have grabbed the hospital land. And chances are on the other side across the gully, because now when the hospital was being fenced off, the administration then made a mistake and did the fencing just around the buildings. So people thought that's the only hospital land. So far, we started the process of trying to establish the exact boundaries of the hospital land. We went to assist the department, and so far we were given a cost of doing that whole work. We are told to look for 600,000 shillings that will be used in surveying the land afresh, establishing where the beacons are, and finally maybe titling the land. As we speak, the hospital has got no title deed. For all those years, we've been operating without a title deed. So we're trying now to look for money that can enable us now carry out that process. And then we are also further asking for political goodwill, because a lot of things will happen. We all know the motive nature of land, because now those people have been there for some time. I'm sure if we were to do anything on that land, a lot of emotions will come up. So we really need now to request from you politicians, and we are happy, we are lucky the area MCA is in this committee. We really need to sit down, work around on how, if we start now claiming back that land, how we're going to work around the whole process, because most likely for those people who have been there for over 10, 20 years, they may need to be resettled somewhere, because if you just displace them and watch a evil, there'll be a lot of hue and cry. So the process would be tedious, but I believe it's doable. If you get the money and the sister department help us now do all what is supposed to be done, and then if we are to reclaim the land fully, then all of us, including now the leaders, and also the administration, provincial administration, help us now to claim back the land, then that would be a good thing. But it is true, the way Mheshimiwa has asked, land for Moi Hospital indeed has been grabbed, and not by only one person. Many people who are around that hospital have grabbed the land. I talked to my colleague, and I told her to give me the specific names of those people who are around, and she's yet now to give me the report. And once I get maybe the report on the exact names of the people who have done the grabbing, then we'll be able now maybe to share it with this committee. Thank you, Chair.
Chair, let me give the opportunity to the lady to answer that question.
Thank you, Chair. Waziri, I'm wondering, how can you say a land is being grabbed by outsiders while this land does not have documentation? How did you know about it? Number two, it seems it's a no man's land. So the way it seems even Moyostro grabbed the land, the way Wananchi have grabbed the land. So if you had tangible documentation, it's when you can say, I have title deed for Moi, is this acreage, and this is what has happened. But so far as the way you are giving out the answers, I think we need a proper sitting and identify what is there, what needs to be done, and because we need to safeguard our hospital space also, and we need to safeguard our people. But so far as I'm concerned, if there is no proper documentation or title deed, that means it's a no man's land. So it's the government to decide what to do, either to settle these people or to leave these people there, you fence whatever is there, or get proper documentation. Thank you.
Mr. Chair, on top of that, I want to ask the Waziri if you have the land records and the ownership records of that land.
Maybe Chair, maybe just respond kidogo on what Honorable Rose and Mohammed have said. There is a number, parcel number. Yes, it's a number, and there is a map, and there's also history. Those people who have been in Voi, who know the extent of the hospital boundaries. So I think I would agree with the Honorable Rose that this matter needs to be discussed in depth. And us in health, I think we don't have the expertise on land matters. So I would request, as we sit in that sitting, I would request our sister department, that is lands, we be together in this matter. Sisi peke yetu hakuna mahali tutaenda. I think if we approach it that way, then we'll reach somewhere where we can sort this this matter once and for all. And remember, waheshimiwa, this is a matter which began even before devolution. 2015, I remember we tried, when we were giving land to KMTC, we almost raised it up, but the politics then, allow me to use the word politics then, were a bit slow on the matter, because people knew if we touched that matter, vile tunasemanga kura zitapotea, zingepotea. So we had to go slow on that matter. So I'm liking the way this assembly, vile waswahili wanasema wanalivalia njuga, ili jambo. I'm happy because this is part of the political I call it what? Political goodwill. I'm saying we'll go somewhere on this matter. That time, that political goodwill lacked, and kama ilipotelea hapo. So this time, I'm happy, and I think Honorable Chair, the direction Mheshimiwa Rosas is giving, I think that would be the best. That we sit, and not only health, maana sisi hatujui maneno. We sit and meanwhile, I think since all of us are here, Dr. Shew, my chief officer, tuanze kutafuta pesa, because that definitely will require some, it will have some financial implication before now we can conclude the whole matter once and for all. Thank you, Chair.
Honorable Mzuga.
Thank you so much, Chair. I want to thank our Waziri for being honest about this matter. One thing I can say in Kwamba, it's unfortunate, Bwana Chair, that we're having the only referral hospital which does not have a land, it is not guarded. And I'm hearing the Waziri talking about 600,000, and it may look like it's a lot of money, but you rather have the 600,000 today than do anything else in Moi Hospital, because it means we are doing everything without land. Secondly, I want to tell the Waziri, as much as he's citing land ministry as the sister ministry to help us, it is upon him and the Department of Health to follow lands. Because when the Minister of Land wants to deal with matters of health, they come to the Minister of Health. And the vice versa should be true. If you want me to go to agriculture, it's me to go to agriculture. It's not agriculture to come to us. So to me, it's a matter of urgency. Bwana Waziri, the longer we stay, the more the land will be grabbed. And there is no way you can stop those guys from grabbing. And I also don't like this issue of saying kwamba it has been an issue for so long. So it's like we are okay with it. Because if it has been there for long, then it needs to be sorted right today. To me, political goodwill, you're talking about political goodwill, there's nothing can be as good as guarding the land of a hospital. There's no vote which will get lost. In fact, you'll get more votes if you guard the hospital land. I know you'll get into people's eyebrows. I know they will cry, but at long last, the bigger picture is you have guarded the hospital land. Seriously speaking, the issue of land in TAVETA is a serious issue. And I can assure you, if we cannot try and do it as right as now, Bwana Waziri, we will not have a hospital. Very soon we'll have people to the right, the inside of the hospital. So to me, it's a matter of urgency of ensuring we have the title deed of Moi Hospital. Whether we can get the whole land or whatever we can get, we secure it as early as now. We should not wait longer. So Bwana Chair, nakuomba hivi kwamba tujaribu kupatiana the shortest notice possible. Uzuri ni kwamba issue land is devolved. We are in the government. We are the government. We are the people. I'm the MCA Mbololo Ward. So I will not, the Waziri should not be worried about me talking about political issues. May don't talk about political issues when serious matters as those ones. So naomba tukue as shortest time as possible tukue na title deed ya Moi Hospital. Whichever the acreage we have, that's the land we'll be securing. The longer we stay, the more we lose it. Thank you, Bwana Chair.
Asante sana Honorable Mzuga. Waziri uko na timu yote, so ni wewe ujipange, kwa sababu as we speak I also sit in lands committee. So it's upon you, ujipange, na ukishajipanga na wewe tuone tutakusaidia namna gani. And I think with this we need in 2 weeks time. Madam Rose.
Thank you, Chair. Waziri, I like the way you have put it, and Honorable Mzuga. I know politics will come and go, but matters of hospital, they will remain forever. Waziri, if possible, before end of this financial year, make sure you settle this matter. 2, there is this thing of a facility improvement fund. I wish this facility improvement fund, you could not allow it to go to the county revenue fund account. According to County Government Act, it's not allowed to go there. It's supposed to remain in hospital so that it could help such matters. 600,000 is a peanut, Mr. Waziri. So you need to follow some things. Make sure you follow Act and things work properly. The way you have said is very important. Meet with Lands Committee plus Health Committee. We iron out these issues once and for all. Before end of financial year, at least we are done with this issue once and for all. Thank you, Chair.
Honorable Dudu.
Asante mwenyekiti, mimi ningependa labda waziri aweze kunipatia LR number ya ardhi ya hospitali. Amesema iko, ningeomba tu aweze kutupatia ili tuweze kuinakili kabla alete ripoti kamili.
Mheshimiwa mwenyekiti, ningependa okay, let me use English. I would like to state that my medical superintendent is saying the number is there, but he doesn't have it offhand. So again, I will, by the end of the day, we'll have given you the number, Mheshimiwa, once the medical superintendent gets back to the office today.
Mheshimiwa mwenyekiti, waziri usirudie hilo kosa tena. Wakati unakuja hapa, mnajua wazi mnakuja na mambo ambayo mmekuwa mnajua yataulizwa. Na sisi tuko hapa kuwakilisha mwananchi kule nje. Tafadhali. Asante.
Much obliged, Mheshimiwa. Through the chair.
Honorable no. Honorable Mzuga.
Thank you, Chair. When I look at my question, is a general question about our hospital, my referral hospital. Bwana Waziri, there have been a myriad of issues about our referral hospital. Some of them are allegations, some of them are truth, and maybe my colleagues will add on to them if they have any. We have had an issue with Mzee from Sagala, whose son lost life, and allegedly they are saying it is out of negligence, because according to the rumors outside there and the social media, which we cannot rely on as per now, is that this Mzee came with a son, with the mother. The son has been suffering from a chronic, I don't know if I can call it chronic or what, I don't know, and anemia. But that particular time when he came, he really needed some emergency attendance, CT scan, oxygen, and the rest. And this one I'm sharing with you according to the social media, because we don't have the facts, and that's why maybe we'll get the facts from the people who are on the ground. And it has gone viral that this boy died out of negligence, because it is when alleged that the parent had to run and go and carry the oxygen cylinder for himself. That's what is there in the social media. And for us, we are not professionals in as far as medical is concerned, but being politicians, impression matters a lot to us. This story has gone viral. It has caused a lot of damage, political damage. It has damaged our image, some of us, because me, I'm the MCA in Bololo. I've also been tagged, being told, Mzuga, what are you doing about it? So I could not take it political and deal with it politically until I get the true story and I'm furnished to the right report. There's a time also, Waziri, I called you at night because I went there and a neighbor of mine was clobbered by some rungus, by the friends, by the neighbors there. And this patient required an emergency ambulance, and we tried to call the driver, and the driver was not there. I called you, the driver came, but the driver came there when he's drunk, very drunk. And I shared it with you, and I told you, you can, because I am not of the habit of witch hunting or trying to, I thought you'll handle it well. Bwana Waziri, I want to tell you this, and it's good I tell you this because it's not proper if I say it outside or I say it elsewhere. There have been so many issues in Moi Hospital, and they have tainted the image of this county assembly and the image of the governor in a bad way. I am meant to understand that there is a lot of improvement by the executive as far as the hospital is run. I'm also informed that nowadays we had salary delays, but they are no longer there that much to the extent which you are there formally. I am also meant to understand that we have tried even the drugs. We are trying to bring more drugs. In fact, I was in Mabomani the day before yesterday, 2 days ago, and the people in that area reported that there are drugs nowadays. But there's been a general impression that the condition of the hospital, as far as the way people are being handled, is not proper. And to us as politicians, it does not augur well. We generally feel, and I need to tell you this one on your face, we generally feel that as the Waziri, you are offhand. You don't follow things up to date. Don't follow things down there and see what happens. And this one, as we speak today, kuna shida generally, politically, kuna shida kwamba Moi Hospital kuna shida. So we were trying to, we said, because we are colleagues and we are working together, we need to share this one with you as brutal as it is. Because haina haja tusengenyane na tuko kazini kama tunafanya kazi. Haina haja tusengenyane. Ni kwamba bado kuna ule utepetevu katika hospitali ya Moi, utepetevu wa number 1 wa madaktari, kwamba yani ile attitude bado haijakuwa ile nzuri watu ambao watu wa TAITA TAVETA wangepata kuipata, na hatutaweza kuisema vinginevyo. Tafadhali tuiseme vile ilivyo. Kama ni ukweli tujue ni ukweli, kama ni uongo tujue ni uongo. So, and that's why in this issue tumesema other issues in Moi Hospital, and maybe I'll also allow my other colleagues to also contribute on this, ili mjue. Unajua mimi kama mwanasiasa vile naongelewa siwezi jua na sitapata mtu akuniambia, na pia ukiwa kwa kazi yako usipopata mtu anakuambia ukweli hutajua unaongelewa vipi. Hiyo ndo hali tunaipata kwa wananchi wetu kufikia sasa, kwamba governor amejaribu sana, amejaribu kujikaza na kufanya mambo mengi sana, lakini upande ule mwingine hatujaona kwamba haijafanyika vile wananchi wangependa ifanywe. Lakini vile mko hapa, mwaweza tuelezea shida iko wapi na kuko vipi. Nimekupatia kesi 2 ya huyo driver na huyo kijana mwenye alikufa, na tunaambiwa alikufa kwa sababu ya utepetevu na kwa sababu ya negligence. Asante bwana mwenyekiti.
You can respond, Waziri.
Thank you, Chair, and also Mheshimiwa Mzuga. Let me start by what is being termed as negligence that took place on the night of 20th this month at Moi County Referral Hospital. And I think I'll read the report that we have made, which was supposed, in fact, if we had finished early, should have gone to the press today. But I'll read it the way it is so that at least you can get it, we can finish it very fast because it's a long thing, and we need to bring the facts out so that we get the correct picture. Yeah, on the night of 20th October 2023 at Moi County Referral Hospital, a patient by the name Samuel Mwatate, who is 8 years old, was received at the hospital in a state of comatose, convulsing, and is brought into the casualty by his anxious mother. And the mother was crying, and she dropped, literally, the baby on bed and ran out screaming that her son was dead. Immediately, the hospital's emergency team, led by a senior medical officer who was on duty that time, started resuscitating the boy, a process that continued until the patient's vital signs were recordable. The patient was then connected to oxygen and lab samples taken for the following investigations. Number 1, full hemogram. 2, urea electrolytes. 3, blood grouping and cross-matching. Then the patient was also started on intravenous fluids and other appropriate medication. Further, the doctor ordered for other adjunct investigations, one being the head CT scan to rule out head bleed. However, upon further consultations between the doctor and the radiographer on duty, it was ruled out that the patient was unfit for the CT scan since he was unstable. Upon attempts to wean off oxygen, that patient could be taken to, for CT scan. Of course, his condition started deteriorating with unrecordable oxygen saturation alongside other episodes of convulsions. So you can imagine the patient is convulsing and not stable. How would take that patient to a CT scan? So at that time, CT scan was not feasible. At around 32 hours, the patient was, let me go back a bit. At around 20 hours, that is saa 4 usiku, the patient was admitted in pediatric ward. The patient was stabilized in, the patient at around 32, the patient was reviewed again by the medical officer for medication adjustment. Then at around 1:20 a.m., the patient condition continued deteriorating, and the patient started gasping, and resuscitation was started again in the presence of the full medical team in the ward. This continued for around 30 minutes with no much success, and the patient, unfortunately, was confirmed at was confirmed dead at 1:50 a.m. In summary, we wish to state as follows. 1, the patient was received by the whole medical emergency team in casualty department, and all the necessary attempts were made to save his life. 2, the hospital had enough medical oxygen at the time of the incidents. I'm told that time the hospital had just received 20 cylinders from BOC. 3, despite the availability of the radiographer as part of the medical team, the CT scan could not be done due to condition of the patient. 4, it is in the record but in the sum of the social media that this patient's parents paid some 42,000 for CT scan. That is not true, because a head CT scan only cost 6,000 shillings. and we have no records of such monies being received at the hospital. So in conclusion, we wish to, as the department and also county government, to advise the general public against giving false information on matters health, which will hence elicit unnecessary anxiety among other members of the public. So this, if you look at, you listen to what the medics are saying and what the father of this patient is saying, these two informations cannot be, you cannot corroborate the two sides of the information. One is saying they even carried a cylinder from one to other, and I'd wonder how the nurse in the ward will allow a stranger to come and carry an oxygen cylinder. How would you even know how to disconnect that cylinder and take it to another ward? Then the other thing we need to understand is that a CT scan is not treatment. It's not it's only an investigation. It's not treatment. So the general perception that the boy died because of lack of a CT scan cannot be true. Picture si treatment. Kweli wa mambo ni kwamba, as you put it, this, if you go through the history, the other things we've not put here because of we are guarding ourselves against medical legal issues. To be, if you give some information here, it will be used against us that is divulging the patient's confidentiality, which is a serious offense in medical legal circles. There are issues, if you go through the history of that boy, this disease did not start today. He has gone through Coast General, Kenyatta National Hospital, back to Moi, home, then back to Moi before this episode happened. One fact that this family is trying not to agree with, this boy was in terminal illness. So the family is going through the 4 stages of mourning. When somebody loses a beloved one, the first stage is anger and disbelief. So this family is in that stage of anger. That's why they are saying all these things. But the truth of the matter, the medics who were on duty on that day tried their best. It has also been said there was no radiographer. Part of the team, as I've said here, was a radiographer. So the notion that there's no sonographer that day, and that's what led to the death of the boy, is not true, it's false. And again, as I've said, a CT scan would have not saved the life of this young soul. We are sorry for what happened.
Madam Rose.
Thank you, Chair. It was so unfortunate to lose such a young person, and sorry for the medics also for whatever happened. In health sector, do you have, or in Moi Hospital, do you have a public relations officer?
Hospital administrator is expected to be the public relations officer, and below him we need to have other officers, because he cannot be all over. Like in Moi, you have only one. We have two health administrative officers. At outpatient OPD, we have a lady who sits there at the customer care desk. That is during the day. That is the officer who's supposed to handle maybe matters to do with customer care and also public relations. First, at the point where the patients come into contact with the hospital. Matters beyond are supposed to be ordered to the hospital administrative officer.
Thank you, Waziri. Sorry for cutting you short. I think the customer care desk is just to show somebody where to go, this and this, that information. That's all I understand. But we need to have a proper public relations officer. Whenever such things happen, he or she can take that person, take care of him, handle him or her, at least give details. You know, once he was running around, you know, if there was somebody like this one, day and night, not day only, could handle these things, they will not go out of hand. That's my thinking. I don't know what's your feeling.
Wait, okay. Mheshimiwa, I think that's the ideal. But remember, here we are grappling with issues to do with the wage bill. Wage bill? If I was allowed to hire so many of these officers, I'll be the happiest person. But now here, in fact, if we didn't need it today to hire so many health administrative officers, I'll be told, choose between a nurse and HAO. And definitely I'll go for a nurse. I will not go for a health administrative officer, depending on how useful that nurse, I'm a medical officer or a pharmacist. So it's complicated, Mheshimiwa, that if you had all the monies we need this county, if I gave you the gaps we have with health, you'll be shocked. The gaps are so many, so we keep on now prioritizing. So,
sorry, Waziri, to cut you short. Do you mean that in the whole of Moi, there are no people who can be trained, or they, like that customer care person, he or she cannot be trained and get another extra person? Despite we can utilize whatever we have. It's not about getting a new person or what. Yes, we have a problem with the wage bill. But hospital health matters are so sensitive. We need to have such people. So we cannot avoid some things because of wage bill.
Let me, through the chair, wanted to see again that debate. But everything you're saying has a cost implication. Let me look it at that.
Thank you so much, through the chair. And I think, Bwana Waziri, we have saved you a lot, because I'm very sure even the public are watching as you gave the explanation, because as we speak today, we have only the story of the father and the patient. We have never had the story from your side, but at least from the explanation you have given there, you are, at least it will clear the air. And I really wish this kind of things, because I can tell you for free, as much as medics is a profession, it is devolved, and if it is devolved, anything which goes wrong, it kills other professions down there, including the governor's profession. So it's good sometimes, as you have been told by Mheshimiwa Rose, we have such kind of people, public relation people, who can control the damage. Because now you're explaining it here in the assembly, but outside there it is not very clear. But though you have said you could have done a press conference, I don't know if you meant it true. I'm happy now the public have got the other story. Thank you so much, Waziri.
Mwenyekiti.
Mheshimiwa Dudu.
Asante sana mwenyekiti. Waziri, pongezi, umekuja na ripoti kamili ya tetesi za mtoto. Lakini bado swali langu kwa huyu mtoto nataka kuuliza, je, hospitali yetu ya rufaa iko na CCTV? Na kama iko na CCTV, tungependa tuoneshwe footage kipindi huyo mtoto alipofika na huduma alizofanyiwa. Swali langu la pili, ninataka unieleze, je, mtu wa CT scan anakuwa hapo usiku time yote? Swali langu la tatu ni utuambie, je, kuna rekodi yoyote ya huyo mtoto aliweza labda kulazwa katika hospitali yetu ya rufaa awali?
Respond, Waziri.
Okay, thank you, Chair. Mheshimiwa, very valid questions, statements. Yes, in Moi we have CCTVs. For 27. We have 27 cameras. I don't know. How many do we have? Yeah. Yes. Unfortunately, Mheshimiwa, at casualty, we can't have the cameras inside. Reason being, we safeguard against the patient's privacy and confidentiality. And maybe at the point of arrival, maybe at the point of arrival, as the patient was arriving. But inside how the treatment is going on, it's not allowed.
Nimeuliza hivyo sababu kwa kusaidiana ni lazima tujue mgonjwa aliletwa saa ngapi, amekaa pale masaa mangapi ndo akapata huduma kupitia footage za CCTV, ili tuweze kusafisha jina la hospitali yetu ya rufaa na story ambazo zinakuja katika mitandao. Swali langu la pili, nataka uniambie mtu wa CT scan anakuaga hapo usiku?
Yes, true. According to the duty roster, there is supposed to be a radiographer on duty, and on that material date, the radiographer was there on duty. They are supposed to be there on duty. And then you talked of a record of previous treatments in the hospital, and I said earlier, this patient was seen at, I can't get the exact dates, but before he even reached Kenyatta, first of all he was seen in Moi Hospital, then he was referred to Coast General Hospital, later on referred to Kenyatta, where he received some treatment. I want to get into the details, as I've told you. I don't want to be caught divulging the patient's private matters. That will, as I told you, might lead me into some medical legal matters. So we know the details, but we'll not divulge the details here. Otherwise, already you all know that this family has threatened to sue the county government. So if I start giving some of the things here, they may be used against us. So the thing is, it's true, the patient was seen in Moi, referred to Coast General, from Coast General to Kenyatta. At Kenyatta, treatment was done, then referred home, then from home, back to the hospital again, where he went through some treatment. Then after that, he was discharged home shortly, then back again on 20th. So he has been on, in, out, in, out. So Moi almost 3 times now. And then Coast General once, Kenyatta once, back to the county. So Moi, I'm told Moi has been admitted in Moi 4 times.
What was the last time? What was the last time on the record?
The file is still active. You can get that information. Hey, Joe, I don't want to get into the exactly. Hapo kuna danger. So I'm told he has been in Moi 4 times because Mheshimiwa had asked for previous record. And that one, we can get it, we can give evidence from the patient's file. So I think
Rose.
Thank you, Chair. I want to get out of this question, but there is something which has been mentioned, ultrasound. And Mheshimiwa, Honorable Waziri, there are some things you can blame also medics or some people, but there is a way also we need to cover these people also, not in a bad way. Can I change into Kiswahili? Wafanyikazi pia wanahitaji conducive environment ya kufanyia kazi. I believe in that CT scan area, There is a, I don't know if it's pending repairs or what, radiology doors are not okay, locks, leaking walls, cracks, pose serious radiation risk to radiologists, also to general public. The CT scan floor tiles are halfway off. I think you have seen this, eh? The ceiling and the walls piers in problem, they need urgent repair. The patient stretchers cannot access the ultrasound room, making it very difficult to attend the patients with multiple injuries like the RCA cases. The staff toilets in the X-ray and ultrasound room are out of order. You know, these are human beings. We need to give them conducive environment. When they are working, at least they feel, you can have a doctor there, you can have a clinical officer, but they don't have proper things to do their work. Are you going to blame them? These are human beings also. They need also motivation. These staffs need good working places, motivation, promotions, visit other counties also, they see what is going on, what they can apply here also. We have a lot of things, Bwana Waziri. I don't know what you are doing on this, especially this one is so dangerous and it needs immediately repairs, Bwana Waziri. I don't know, you have said that it's a year. You have been seeing this place. I've never seen anywhere it has been written, we need these repairs or what and what. So kindly, let's give our staffs conducive environment also so that they can give us proper services.
Chair, on addition of that, nyumba ya ultrasound, it's need a redesign immediately. It's need an immediately redesigned, sababu ukienda kwa hiyo nyumba kama vile amezungumza mheshimiwa, ni mahali padogo sana sana, tena sana, na workload ya pale ni kubwa.
Chair, should I go ahead and respond to first of all, Honorable Chair, issues of motivation, and me I would say number one, promotions. Promotions, we've worked on promotions of this stuff. It's not like previously where there's really needs to delay. That should motivate them. Promotions are being dealt, you know, they are not done kila mtu atago. They are done depending on when you qualify for that promotion, and a promotion is a process. It's not as something that waziri, I'm a director, I'm a chief officer, we'd wake up one morning and say, Mukaya, you're promoted. It has to go through a certain process. So processes have been going on. Some have been promoted, others are on the way being promoted. Yeah, just the other day, I don't want to mention names, one of the radiographers was promoted to the highest level of grade of radiographers, to the chief radiographer. If it were during those days before devolution, he'd be sitting in Afia House. And we continue to promote. Then other issues of motivation. Salaries, as we've been told, are coming in good time. That is a motivation. Working environment. Yes, it's true that building has some peeling tiles. Dr. Shimo, I think I'll give him some time, maybe what the plan they have, because there's a plan. And issue of radioactive material, you see, this building, the CT scan building, the X-ray, and where you have mammography, these are buildings which are not checked regularly by the anti-radiation team, which comes regularly from Nairobi. So far, we've not received any report that our radiology facilities are leaking. The last report I think we received was in 2015 when VESU X-ray department was closed. So those who are claiming that the MOI radiology department is leaking of radioactive, emissions. I think they are not telling us the truth, and it's only that team. It's called the anti-radiology and radiation board that can give us that report. Nobody sitting in MOI or wherever can do that. So that one is not true. And yes, workload, it could be true. It could be true. And recently, there's an intent which is ongoing, which is being processed, that we add more radiographers and sonographers, so that at least these guys can have a commensurate workload to work in that department. That one I agree, and we're handling it by adding more staff. There is an intent, is it, Madam Chief? Next 3. Yeah, we are waiting for 3 more radiographers, and most likely the 3 will go to MOI. Let's not forget that also TAVETA requires radiologists and sonographers, VESU2, and Matata requires sonographers. The other one, you talked about stretchers. Maybe Dr. Shemwe speaks maybe through chair. I request that Dr. Shemwe maybe comments on maybe what we are intended to do with the floor of the CT scan house, which has peeling of tiles, and also the stretchers that can go through the door. Dr. Shemwe.
Honorable members, let me respond to the first question about the ultrasound. I think, Honorable Member, I think the Chair and the Honorable Member Mohammed, you have been with me when we handle mass casualties at the accident emergency unit, and you can really testify that Moi Hospital has got ultrasound at the accident emergency unit. And actually, you have been seeing me using it when we have accident victims at the casualty. So when we have emergencies, we can actually do the ultrasound at our emergency department. That is one. Number 2, also I wanted to respond about the stretcher. Yes, we bought some few stretchers back. Some are worn out because of excessive usage. I think last week we added some few stretchers and wheelchairs, about 5 of them, and we're also planning to add more with the incoming FIF locations. With the flow of the CT scan.
Maybe to cut you short, Dr. Shem.
Yes, Your Honor.
About stretchers, it's about the room for ultrasound. It's too small, the stretchers cannot access. You understand? It's not that you don't have enough stretchers. So something has to be done so that we can have enough space.
Yes, Your Honorable Member. And to answer that, we have to open a door that enters straight to the ultrasound room. We have talked with the public works department, and they are helping us to work on that so that we can create a door that can enter direct to the ultrasound room. That one said and done, I've also said that we also have another ultrasound machine at our casualty. Given that if that CT is not entering in, the patient can also get the same services at the casualty department, Your Honor. About the flow of the CT scan, you remember this was under the MES project, and the MES project, they were responsible for the maintenance of the equipments, maintenance of those rooms. And up to, I think, around August, October, the renewal of the renewal contract had not gone through. So our hands were also tied, because if you touch their equipments, if you touch what they are deemed to be theirs, I think we had to be taken to task and be questioned, why are we doing that? Because they are the people who signed the contract with the national government. And I think if the contract had already elapsed, I think through the direction from the CC and the chief, I think we'll now be at peace to start doing the maintenance of the said building. Thank you.
Through the chair, Waziri, for me, I believe in tangible things, documentation. You said their promotions are done gradually and whatever. You have the list of people who have been promoted and who have not been promoted. You have the list of everything which is supposed to be done. Kindly, can we get that document?
Okay, Mr. Blight, through the chair, Mr. Blight will get the list.
Mwenyekiti, ningependa labda kufafanuliwa tu. Is the same person ambaye ako kwa ultrasound machines, mteja akiwa kwa casualty, is the same person anaenda huko ama kuna mwingine?
Through the chair, it's talked of ultrasound. And
there is an ultrasound kwa emergency. So I'm asking, is it the same person kukitajika kwa emergency anaenda anaacha the mahali anatakana kuwe? Ama how many are there?
Up until last week, Moi Hospital had a combination, a total of 10 radiology staff plus a radiologist. That makes it 11. So some of them have specialized in sonography. Those who have specialized in sonography are the ones who can do ultrasound.
How many sonographers do you have in the referral?
Just to confirm the number so that we give you the correct. 4. I'm told the number of sonographers is 4. Then radiographers. The rest are, that is 6R. That's for more, yeah? Yes. So 4 sonographers, 9 radiographers, and then the radiologist. A radiologist is a medical officer who has specialized in matters to do with radiology. So far we have only 1 in the county. 1? Yes.
Na wote wako kazini ama kuna wale walisimamishwa?
The numbers I'm giving are those people who are active in our payroll. Wale walisimamishwa, that is kitambo, that is around 2019, 2020. Those ones we are not counting because walisimamishwa kazi, they are no longer ours. So the numbers we are giving through the chair is the number of our active staff who are in our payroll.
Waziri, tulikuwa tunaomba hiyo report if possible, kama unaweza ishare ili na sisi at least tukue nao ya huyo kijana, so you can send it to our secretariat so that we also have it in our records.
Much obliged, Chair. What I'll do immediately after this, I'll go and print, sign, because I don't want to release a report which is not signed, then share with the secretariat. Thank you.
There is a question which I have for you. How many psychologists do you have in TAITA, TAVETA hospitals? Because in sub-county hospitals, we have got Moi, TAVETA, Mwatate, and Undanyi. And the reason I'm asking this, it's because I have heard, so I want clarity, whether it's a yes or no. I'm told that in Vundanyi, we don't have a psychologist. How true is it?
That is Vundanyi Health Center.
Yes.
Do you post psychologist in? Total 13. Yes, so I'm told here the total number of psychologists we have in the county is 13. Now you see some of these stuff, we cannot just post them in health centers because we don't have enough. So the spread, mostly they are based at the sub-county hospitals. Vundanyi, remember, it was downgraded to a health center. So
what of Vesu?
Vesu, Vesu we have
one. Okay. Another question, and this goes to you, Waziri, or I don't know whether it's Madam Sisio to answer. On a weekend, that is on Saturday, I was in Moi, and to some extent, I had some patients complain, and some of them were complaining that from 7 a.m. in the morning till noon were not yet served at OPD. And upon inquiry, it happened that we had 2 COs who were on duty. And upon talking to them, one of them, I didn't introduce myself, so I asked one of the CEOs who was there, what's causing the queue, the long queue. And it was purported that they are understaffed, and on a weekend, they work half a day. That is, one shifts ends at 1, yani from 6, I think, if I'm not wrong, to 1. And another one from 1 to, I think, 6, if I'm not wrong. So upon asking her what could be the reason, she said that we are understaffed. But all of a sudden, upon introducing myself, they had to call whoever they called. And in less than 5 minutes, Waziri, the other CEO opened the second consultation room, telling me that this is sorted, so in shortest time possible, we'll be in a position to sort this mess. So I was wondering on whether that is the way to go, or we need to do something, in other words. Because patients had been complaining, some of them saying, tumekaa sana, kuanzia 7. So, hiyo kitu nikasikia kukwazika. So, ningelipenda nijue whether ni staffs wako, and if so, then what plans do you have to be sorting such issues? Another issue was there was a time, it was on still a weekend. I was in Moi, and there is one boy who wanted to seek services, orthopedic services. But the doctor was on call. So I was wondering, now, if should we be calling the doctors to duty, or they are supposed to be stationed, or rather to be in offices 24 hours, it being a hospital? So kindly, you should put a check in that, because we are here for service delivery. Last question was the current status of Tausa Health Center and the plans the department has on the facility. I think with that, you can respond.
Thank you, Chair. For the questions, I wish to respond about the question about the RCOs who are on duty. These people work on shifts, and the person who works on night duty is supposed to leave the facility at 8 a.m. and then the one taking care of day duty comes up to 1, and then another one reports in the afternoon, who actually reports off duty, and the one on night gets starts working on duty. So with that anomaly that happened, I think we really need to find out what is going on, because much as there is shortage, these people work using a duty rota, and they are supposed to adhere with it. And in case of any challenges, they have an in charge for the department who is stationed at the hospital, who makes the duties for these people, and we expect the hospital to be covered for all those 24 hours, because we know Moi is a county referral hospital, and they're supposed to work 24 hours in a day. So maybe with that, we'll need to find out what happened on this particular day, who was on duty, because we will refer to the duty list and maybe take the necessary action. And because also we have the med soup with us, we can also shed some light what was happening on that particular day, because we expected the hospital to be covered by at all time. And then also for the next question about weekend, on the orthopedic doctor, we understand that our orthopedic department works 24 hours, but when somebody is on call, they're actually supposed to be on call 24 hours. So over the weekend, you'll expect there's somebody on call, because the same orthopedic department does not operate over the weekend, that is Saturday and Sunday, but there is somebody on call. And when somebody is on call, they are supposed to be standby. They can be called any time of the day. So somebody on call is actually covering 24 hours, and they are on call. So we expect also the department to be covered, because there's somebody on call over the weekend, and also at night. We are supposed to have somebody on call. About Tausa Health Center, we appreciate that the facility is actually in bad shape. It is really debilitated, and we also discovered the facility is kind of sinking. Actually, the ground is sinking, and the last time we were there with the projects officer, we really talked about that facility, and we felt that in our next budget, we should start considering an overhaul and not renovation for that facility, because it's actually in bad shape and the ground seems like it is sinking. So we have that in mind. We know what is going on, and we believe maybe in our next budget we can consider the whole of that facility, because it's actually sinking down, and we don't know with the prediction of the El Nino rains, we don't know what will happen, but we have seen it and we have plans to maybe budget an overhaul of that whole facility. Thank you.
I think I'm answered. Madam Rose.
Thanks, Chair. I have some questions to answer if you're satisfied. If your questions have been answered, I have some more questions to ask.
Okay. Permission granted.
Thank you, Chair. Waziri, I know there are catering services going on in Moi Hospital, and these catering services have been a challenge because these suppliers or contractors have not been paid, so debts are accruing day by day. I don't know what plans do you have so that either we can change the system, we start cooking food in Moi Hospital also, will help our people to get some jobs, or what plans do you have? Also, I don't know if it's hearsay or it's true, you're the one to tell me. There are some cases of collusion of staffs who have taken money from patients, and we need, I don't know true or not true, you're the one to tell us. They're complaining that there are some staffs who are taking money from patients. Oh, how do you see we put some automation of revenue management system in Moi Hospital so that we can at least try to cover these loopholes which are there? Because we need revenue also for our hospitals to grow, and also we need to make sure the systems are okay. Because as I know, so far as I know, the Moi system is not good as the way it's supposed to be. It's very weak. So we need some change in that also. Mr. Waziri, there was this thing, it was in the last regime, where nurses, I don't know if doctors were included, Dr. Shem is in a clear position to tell us, and clinical officers, they went on strike and they were not paid their salaries that time. There are some who were not paid in 4 months, others 6 months. I don't know what you are doing to make sure that these staffs get their money back, because they have to be paid. It was budgeted. And since you have been there 2013-17, and now God has helped you, you're back, you need to help these people. Thank you.
Chair, kwa naomba niulize swali kama nitaruhusiwa. Madam Sisio, ningependa uniambie how many orthopedics are there in the referral? Now those who are on calls, are they supposed to be wanahitajika kuchukuliwa na gari ya hospitali wakiwa wanaitwa? Sababu mimi nimekuwa hapo Moi, mgonjwa amekuwa hapo over 3 hours, anasema mpaka aendewe na ambulance ndo aje. So nataka nijue hiyo ndo sheria inasema hivyo. Ya pili, nadhani ni waziri ama ni Melso patanjibu, ni upande wa cash office. Kuna watu ambao wameshikwa na shutuma za uwizi. Ninataka wakati mnakuja hapa after 14 days mtuambie ni hatua gani mwachukulia na ni nini mmefanya, sababu mimi nimekuwa hapo na ushahidi niko nao. Wakati mkijaribu kutuchenga, tutatoa ushahidi ule ambao pia sisi tuko nao. La tatu ni Madam CCO, ni umetoka katika department ya nurses. Ningependa nurse musika anieleze ni kwa nini kuna nurses kwa mail ward hawafanyiwi rotation ya kwenda mahali kwingine. Wamekwamia hapo kwa mail ward ambao wao ndo wanahusika pakubwa kwa kukimbiza wagonjwa waliokuwa wanakataa kulipa, na tunasubiri muda tu, kitawaramba karibuni tu.
Okay, thank you, Mheshimiwa. Maybe to respond to the question about somebody on call. When somebody there is a difference between when somebody is on call and somebody is on night duty. When you're on night duty, you are supposed to come and stay in the hospital till the night is over, then you report off duty. But somebody on call, the word on call, they can stay wherever they are staying, and then they will be called upon when there is need. So there is a difference. So you are saying that they are collected from wherever they live. We understand that we have issues with staff houses. They are not adequate. So some of our staff will stay outside the hospital compound. But when they are on call and the duty rota says they are on call, we need to facilitate their coming to the hospital to attend to the patient. And mostly on night duty, we need to facilitate them. So they will be picked by the ambulance because we don't have a utility vehicle for Moi County Referral Hospital. So currently we are using the ambulance which picks the doctors on call to come and review the patient or attend to the patient. And then the question about currently we have one orthopedic surgeon that is a consultant, and then we need to understand that we call it the orthopedic department, but there are two consultants, but again we need to appreciate that in that department we have the orthopedic department, we have the orthotrauma department where we have this other staff, like they are not doctors but diploma holders who are working in those departments. But for the orthopedic consultants, we have two at the moment. And then another question about male ward, you have said that nurses have maybe overstayed in the male ward. We appreciate that in the working environment, we appreciate that we need to make some rotation. We need to make some changes even in the hospital. And I think at last week, I was talking to the nurse manager, who is Mr. Roge. He is actually preparing to make sure there is a major rotation in the hospital. And when we rotate our staff, there are some factors that we actually put into consideration, knowing that there are some people who will be rotated within the department depending on the specialty they have, the qualifications they have, because we have different cadres of nursing. So we might think that this person is actually overstaying in that male ward, but when we go deeper into their qualification, we realize there is no any other department we can take this nurse because of the qualification. But for the hospital rotation, we plan to do that. And we are going to do that rotation very soon. And we know it also has some effects, but we usually do a rotation at least after every 2 years, so that we make sure there is continuity of patient care. We cannot just do rotation anytime, but at least after 2 years or 3 years, we consider rotating the nurses in the department depending on the qualifications they have as nurses.
Honorable Chair, let me respond to the questions that have been raised by Honorable Rose. Question on catering services. Right now we are on what we call the outside catering services, and the contract was a 1-year contract which is coming to an end next month. That is from tomorrow. We have November. We'll have 1 month with this contract. It will come to an end. And us as a department, because I remember there's a time this same committee went around And one of the things she was coming out is that the system is very expensive, and they also brought out some of the loopholes that this system is open to abuse, so they recommended that we do away with the system. So, Chair, we have agreed and in principle that we are going to do away with outside catering, and we are going to put in place hospital-based catering services, and to that, towards that end, already we've made sure that our cooks are on standby. By the way, before this system came on board, we already had cooks. So the cooks are there, the utensils are there, so it's just a matter of buying the foodstuffs. Again, we've already also instructed the procurement department to pre-qualify suppliers who will be supplying foodstuff to hospitals. So we are ready for the changeover. Very soon we are doing that changeover so that at least we start serving our own, cooking and serving our own patients, because there are other challenges that which were highlighted in the report. Challenges like now those patients on special diet, they are not being fed properly. Then the issue of not being paid. We all appreciate that we don't have enough funds to pay everything to the last cent. So every time the hospitals do their budgets, we normally make sure some percentage goes to the patient's food and ration. And it's not only this voted that is being staffed, it's not being funded to the last cent. If we walk across all the voteds, we discover we have some bills. So our commitment is we will continue paying until we'll clear their bills when the contract comes to an end. But there's no particular time we fail to pay. Even if we're not clearing, but we've been reducing the debt bit by bit.
Sorry, Waziri, let me cut you short. I clearly understand there is somebody has a debt up to 38 million. And you are saying you are not, can you kindly get furnished with proper information? Maybe as per now when you are as Waziri, but there is problem. There are people who the health department owes money in terms of catering. So you cannot just say, yes, we cannot pay. It sounds rude, because this is somebody that used his or her money to do that, to give you services. And it's prudent him or her to be paid on time. So kindly, can you fast track on that, please?
I get you, Mheshimiwa. Definitely you're talking of pending bills. Pending bills are there, that is true, and not only on food. When we came in, we found the pending bills there, and pending bills are not being handled at the departmental level. Pending bills are being handled at the finance department. So I think it's good. I'm sure you've met that person face to face. Please and kindly advise him or her to visit the finance department to follow on his debt. At the hospital, we're only talking of when we began the last financial year, when we began the outside catering services. That's what I'm talking about. And I'm sure maybe Dr. Shem will be reached over 10 million debt. From when, for example? I'm up. Yes. But not 35. You said 30? 30? No, it's not beyond 10 million. Mheshimiwa were not beyond 10 million. So, wanaitunga nani wale watu? This company. Cholmat, I don't think the hospital owes Cholmat more than 10 million. You've been reducing the debt. So if there is any previous debt, it must be a pending debt that will be handled at the finance department. Then there's an issue on staff stealing money. It's true, we've got a number, and before we came here this morning, the cases are being finalized, and after this, the letters will be signed. That is most likely suspensions, because us as a department, we cannot sack anybody. We don't have the powers. The people who have the powers to recruit and sack is called Public Service Board. Ours is to recommend and suspend, pending the other processes. So we have suspended them as from today. Those people, we have the records, and they're going to be suspended, and they'll be on no salary, because in the past people have been given what we call this one on half salary, interdiction, and it's like they're comfortable with interdiction. So the department, this time we are saying we are going to suspend people, and when our public officer is suspended, will be on 0 salary until the quest is concluded. Then I think that's nurses not, the ones who are on strike or not paid. Again, we have reminded the concerned department, that is DPSA, Department Devolution, Public Service and Administration, to have these matters concluded, because they are the paying agents. They have all the figures, and us, we've been reminding them. Sorry? Yes, we've been following up. I think last week I was with the County Secretary, reminding even the union, the nurse unions, came to me, and then I also talked to the County Secretary, and I told them, Ata nyinyi, and then they went there. So everybody is aware of the issue. So the issue is beyond us as a department. Apart from reminding them, sometimes you can remind somebody, but taking action, you cannot force that person to take action. So reminding, Honorable Chair, reminders we've done. So we are waiting for the concerned department to take action so that this issue is sorted out once and for all. Thank you.
Bwana Waziri, unajua nashangaa. Okay, to some extent, this is not fair. It is not fair because hawa watu walifutwa na kwa payslips zao inaonyesha kwamba hiyo pesa iliingia, ililiwa na kina nani. So I'm requesting you to provide me with the letter, or rather the reminders which you have been making to devolution department, so that this committee makes follow-up on the same. Hii hatutawachilia. Wakati nyinyi tutakuwa tunawasukumia, na nyinyi pia mkue tunasaidiana kufanya hii kazi ya kutumikia mwananchi vyema. So kindly, I think we are on recess, but next week, kindly share me the reminders and all letters which you have been doing to the department, so that we can as well make follow-up on the same. Thank you.
Chair.
Dudu.
Niko na swali. Ningependa pia waziri anieleze ni kina nani ambao wanakaa katika komiti ya kufanya waiver. Sababu katika serikali iliyopita tuliona waiver zinafanywa, lakini kwa hii awamu tunaona mpaka yule maskini ananyimwa haki katika serikali yake. So ningependa nielezwe nani wanakaa katika hiyo komiti, sababu hapa nina kesi ambayo ningependa pia wewe kama mwenyekiti uone vile tutasaidiana. Ningependa pia uone hii picha ya huyu bwana ambaye ni askari, tunaita askari gongo. Mshahara wake ni shilingi 3,800. Ako na shida ya macho, na ile hali ameipata katika hospitali yetu ya rufaa. Nataka pia waziri aone alivyopata hii hali ameipata katika hospitali yetu ya rufaa, ni kuwa wanazidi kumuumiza huyu bwana, na wanazidi, mwisho ametumwa Mombasa, aende kufanyiwa surgery ya surgeon ya macho, na ninaamini juzi tu tulipokea kliniki ya macho katika kaunti yetu, lakini masikitiko yangu ni kuona mtu kama huyu haizi saidiwa. Inasemekana hawafanyi tena waivers. Huyu mtu ni baba, ana familia, hali yake ya maisha na ndo amekuwa ndo tegemeo katika familia yake. Hali ya maisha imebadilika, so ningeomba kupitia kwako mwenyekiti, ni swala ambalo linatakana lifanyiwe kazi, ili tuone ni vipi mwananchi ambaye hajiwezi anaweza saidika. Na singependa pia kuwa katika maandiko watu wana macho hawaoni, wana masikio hawasikii, na midomo hawaongei. Asante.
Thank you, Chair. Honorable Chair, I would like to refer the honorable member to the TAVETA County Health Services Act of 2021, Section 62. We'll get time, go and go through that section, which establishes a waiver system that cushions individuals from financial hardships and ensure that no user is denied essential health care due to inability to pay. This county government provides for that. But unfortunately, our people do not understand the system. And I'm sure before this was passed by this very house, what we call public participation was done. People were taken through this Sharia. So I'd expect them to know that if I have a problem, I don't run to Mweshimiwa. I go to the hospital administration, and in this hospital administration, there is a committee. You've asked the composition. The committee comprises of, that is section 62 part 3, it says, the committee comprises of the health administrative officer, who shall be the chairman, the medical social worker, who shall be the secretary, the nurse manager member, and a representative from the department referring the waiver. So if this patient, like for example this one, who has an eye problem, there must be a representative from the eye department. So 4 members, as stipulated in the act. Yeah, so I think as Weshimiwa, I think we need to, when we meet such a case, we need to educate our people that, and again, it has to be proved beyond reasonable doubt. That's why you have medical social workers who are supposed to go down to the community. Man, in the past, we have had cases, sisemi ni huyu mheshimiwa, we have had cases, wengine, hii ni Kenya, kuna wale wengine wako na ukora. Unapata a case like this one, mchango unaendelea upande huu, lakini upande huu anaomba waiver. So these medical social workers, they have a duty, maana ndio maana tumewajiri kazi, they have a duty to go deep. See, some of our people akishaongea na mheshimiwa anataka sahiyo. It doesn't work like that. All due diligence has to be done to ensure that this is a really hardship case before that waiver is granted. So our team sits down, deliberate on the issue after they've done their due diligence and agree whether this person need to be waived. After the agreement, then finally there's a form which is taken out to the membership. We find the form on the 3rd schedule of the same act, which is now finally signed by the medical superintendent authorizing the waiver. We are putting all these measures so that the system is not abused. All in all, as we put it, yes, in case it's a really, really needy case, that patient should not be denied health care. So the system is there and it's working where people cooperate understand how the system works. Thank you.
Chair, there is something I've not understood from Waziri. Do you say that once somebody comes in a needy situation, they have to wait for this team to go find out information for him or her to be treated? Or what do you mean? Because when you have a needy cases, I think you should handle the case as you do your due diligence. Number two, I think that's why I'm saying we need a public relations officer could handle such things before they go out of hand.
Chair, again, we have the regulations. Regulation within now that Act, Part 8, it says, for purposes of screening, an outpatient case, however, can be granted by the user department in consultation with the nurse covering and with the approval of the medical superintendent. Meaning, if, it depends on the need, it's case by case. Is it an outpatient or an inpatient? An inpatient case, the patient is still in the ward. That one, we have that luxury of doing what I was explaining. But now, if it's an outpatient case, then maybe other consideration, the way Part 8 of that section says, that shortcut can be used. But again, we have to be very careful so that the system is not abused. So there is a leeway. Yeah.
Thank you,
Waziri.
Waziri.
Please,
Thank you, Waziri.
Chair, kindly, before maybe, I'll urge you, please, my Oshimiwas, I know the Assembly has copies of this. Health Committee, get a copy. Secretary naomba, pia waheshimiwa a copy, so that at least now they're kept abreast of what is supposed to be happening, especially on matters of this waiver system.
Thank you, Waziri. I think that act was made in the same house, and it's the same people who we have a way we can change it. So, Waziri, if you see there is an act, yes, this act was written by people, and I believe it was passed in this same house. If you see there is an act, our people are not getting enough, you can engage us so that we can change some things so that our people can get help. So it's not a fixed thing, whereas you can leave somebody to die because there is an act which is binding you. Waziri, kindly. There are some cases which they are in need. You can handle them, and even you say, hata ukieka useme tuchangishieni huyo mtu shilingi 10, tutamlipia na atoke instead of leaving somebody to die because there is an act, Waziri.
Mheshimiwa, I get you, but I've not said and the act is that stringent, because me, I'm seeing it working for us. It's working for us very well. Very well it's working for us. Because there are some counties, like Mombasa County, Coast General, there's nothing like waiver. There was an executive order by the former governor, you can never get a waiver. But for us, for TAITA, TAVETA, at least we have this, which for me, it has been working well. Only that, let me put a disclaimer. Our people, even those who are able, utapata a civil servant who is earning a salary, kwa vile amesikia there is waiver, wants to get a waiver. So that's why you are being a bit stringent, kidogo. But we know, and those social workers, medical social workers, are trained to be able to pick the really issues that require these waivers. So as we help, again, on the other hand, let's be careful that we don't open so much for abuse. So maybe as we meet these cases, let's continue engaging so that we see if there are areas where we need to change. As Mheshimiwa rightly says, this act, this law is not cast on stone. We'll engage and revise where we feel this law is being punitive to our people. Thank you.
Mheshimiwa Mwenyekiti, Waziri, asante sana. Nilikuwa na sababu ya kuuliza hilo swali, nilikuwa najua utanirifaa kwa act. Na msumeno unakata pande zote mbili. Wakati unanishikilia mimi kunionyesha act ndio inafanya kazi, na mimi siku nitakuletea madhambi yako, usiniambie nikusamehe. Sababu tunaona mpaka madaktari wanachukua dawa wakipeleka katika nini zao za kibinafsi. So hiyo act ni ya kumnyonga tu mnyonge ambaye ni mpiga kura aliyochagua hii serikali, lakini ni ya kumfavor mtu ambaye analipwa na ushuru wa mnyonge ili afanye kile anachotaka.
Mheshimiwa, nitakuomba kwa unyenyekevu, tafadhalini, ukiona mtu kama huyu, umesema vizuri, umeona, tafadhalini, simchukue hiyo evidence, mlete tufanye kama vile hao wengine tunawafanya, wenye tumepewa evidence, tufute kazi. Mtu kama huyu hata mimi sitakubali. So please, my plea, if we get evidence, we get such people, please, because ukiniambia generally the way it has been, dawa zinaibiwa, sitaweza kusaidia. Maana if I'm to discipline that officer, I need evidence. If today you wake up and say, Dr. So and so, go home without any evidence, that doctor definitely will go to court and the county government will suffer damages. So please, let's get any evidence that we get that we can use to reprimand these people, rather than kusema dawa zinaibiwa, chakula kinaibiwa na kadhalika. Asante.
Okay. Asante sana waziri na timu yako kwa kufika, na waheshimiwa wenye ambao wamepatikana na sekretari yetu, nasema asanteni. So bwana waziri, tupe your part in short tukimalizia.
Thank you, Chair. Thank you for inviting us to come and shed light on these issues that have been sometimes peddled in the social media, some true, some not true, and some people using a lot of falsehoods just because of, health is the soft area. If you want to bring down an administration, that's what you touch. So health has been used many times to bring down the sitting, not only this one, but even the previous regimes. So for us, it's an opportunity you've given us so that we can shed light on some of the issues that have been, been used to paint the bad picture of the sitting government. So I would request for future engagements, even if it starts outside the chamber, we sit as a you as a committee and as my department, we get to understand each other, and we should not wait until things get out of hand. We be meeting oftenly, probably quarterly, so that at least you are kept also abreast of what is happening. And again, when this committee seeks for a statement, I would request that it's presented in good time, so that, you see, with the passage of time, some of the facts do what? Change. Yeah, so when they change, maybe by the time, if it's after 4 months, by the time it's been presented, the same may have been presented in the House, facts will have changed and the meaning will have been lost. So good, tabling the, once we sit like the way we are sitting, if the statement, the report is tabled in good time, then things will work better. So asanteni sana, may God bless you.
Thank you, Waziri. There being no other business, the sitting stands adjourned. Thank you.